To start this project, we just need a board. I took MDF board about 8 thick. Otherwise, you need some wood glue. I have two types of wood glue. I will use both because they are about to an end. I will use plaster of Paris, gypsum, spatula, palette knife, brush, a bowl, and a hand mixer. You can also, if you don't have this electrical hand mixer, you can use whisk as well, but it keeps our work easier and a bit quick. So first of all, I'm going to take glue. How much glue you require? I will use about half cup in the beginning. I'm not going to measure it because I know how much glue is required in it. This is wood glue, or in our country it is also known as German glue. It comes in different qualities. If you get a good quality, a good brand glue, the consistency of glue would be thick, and the result would be very perfect and very without cracky, because it doesn't get too much shrink. But if you get a cheaper glue, it will shrink very well. And the result is not very good. The paste would be very thin, and after getting dry, it shrinks a lot, so you might get cracks in it. So always try to get good quality glue. This glue has been finished, and we are going to use another one. Both are same glues, so always try to get good quality, good brand glue. I think this would be enough. It's about 1 cup of glue. All the tools which you use for this sculpture paste or wall putty material, don't use all these tools in your during your cooking, because this rubber spatula, I'm not going to use this rubber spatula for my cooking or for my baking. Now gradually add the plaster of Paris in it. Mix it. Otherwise the powder will puffs out. Mix it a little bit. Now use hand mixture. You can also use hand whisk, or you can only use the spatula, but it will take time to get mixed. Actually, I can't tell you the exact amount of plaster of Paris and glue, because in different areas the consistency of glue varies. So if you get thick glue, so you need less plaster of Paris. But if you have thin glue, the quantity of plaster of Paris would increase. I think my paste is very thin. Look, it's runny, little bit runny. So I need not too much, but little bit hard paste. So here is the result of the paste. Let me show you after it gets ready. Our paste is ready. Now, after using all these tools, you need to dip the tools in water as soon as possible. Otherwise, they will get dry, and it would be very hard to remove all this material from the tools. So I'm going to dip it, and let me tell you what to do then the next. Now in the next step, we need a piping bag. You can take disposable piping bag and just put it in a glass, so it would be easy to put this paste into the glass or in the piping bag. all the paste in it. It's a coning technique, basically. You can use this technique in any other project. This paste is good enough and hard enough to sustain. Just put it in the cutting bag. Put it aside. Now push the paste downward and cut the nozzle. The question is how much thick you want to get the line. If you need a thick line, you cut the nozzle a little bit thick, but in the beginning you always cut smaller. I will use smaller cuts. Now push the paste, twist the cone from the bag and try to use line over here. You need to use this paste as soon as possible because the gypsum or plaster of Paris dries very fast. So make the lines roughly in the beginning. After that we will make the lines smooth with the help of water and brush. This is how I will complete my project doing coning step. I have done creating the lines. Now in the next step I will use some water and brush. Just dip the brush in the water and flatten the surface so it will become smooth. Now it's time to give the shape to it. You can also use your fingers to smooth the inner sides. When it gets dry, we can also use sander to flat it, but it's optional. If you are able to make it as smooth as possible, there will be no need of sanding it. A small brush would be okay. You have to be as quick as possible because the plaster of Paris and glue is getting harder. So I'm just keep on smoothing the surfaces. Keep the brush clean and wet while doing this. If it's summer or it's hot, don't do this step under the fan or air because the air blow of the fan will make it dry very fast. Just keep on smoothing it. And this. And for the sides, I will use the palette knife and cover the sides like this. But I will do this step later, because if I'll do this step right now, my paste will get dry. You can also use palette knife or wet palette knife to flatten it, but it's sticky, so it stick to the knife. So the best thing is to use brush, clean the brush again and again. Check how many times I'm cleaning the brush. Just dip in the water, keep the brush wet and smooth it. I will complete this frame and show you again. I have done with my flattening it. You can use any design according to your choices. Now put two heights below this surface, so it will be helped to cover the sides. If it's set on a surface, on a flat surface like a floor or on a counter, that would be very difficult to smoothen the side or cover the sides. So always place the board on some height, so you can easily blend the paste the sides of the board. Make sure that the height of all the lines should be same, or the height couldn't be get same, because it's very tough to understand which is heighted or which is not, because after getting dry we have to fill it with the resin. If this surface is uneven, so the resin would also be resin level to be get filled in it. So there is another option. When it get dry completely, you can use sand machine to make the level same. So after covering the side, I will wait this paste to get completely dry. It will take a day or so, because the lines are not very thin, they are a bit thick, so it will take time. So when it get dry, I will show you what the next step has to be done. So just cover the sides and wait for the paste to get dry completely. After 3-4 days, my plank get fully dried, and I sand it with using sander, electric sander, because it is unable to sand using hand sandpaper. So this is how it is the result. It looks like the surface is very flat and not very heighted. Now in the next step, I'm going to paint it black. I'm using chalk paint. You can use any black paint, acrylic color or any other color. I'm going to cover the whole area, all the ducts. Now it's time to paint. My black paint get dried, and I just use chrome color, chrome mica powder or multicolored mica powder. This is also known as dual shine mica powder or rainbow powder, to fill these areas. You can also put mica powder directly into the resin, not this one, because this mica powder doesn't work in resin while mixing. You need to paint it first on the surface. After that you have to pour transparent resin in it. So just to apply this powder on this black area, I use polyurethane. You can also use Mod Podge. So I just put some PU or Mod Podge in the jar and add little bit of water. So it has to be a little bit diluted. Apply the PU in the area where you want to add color. I have done this part and the remaining part I will do in front of you. This powder have dual shade on different angles. Two different colors are visible when light hits on it. Just apply the powder directly on the wet PU. This is optional. You can add any color in resin, like mica powder or acrylic color. There are bundles of videos of mine. You can watch how to use resin, because I have posted full resin course on my channel. Just apply the powder on the wet PU or wet Mod Podge. If you want to give some shade, you can also give little color over here. So it seems that color flow from one direction to another, like this. This is how I fill the rest of the part, and after that I will just recolor this part, this area where I have accidentally did this rainbow color, because I need black color over here. So after this completion of this, I will do this black color. Now you can see the close look of it. You might able to see the reflection of two colors, because this side you can see the turquoise shade, and on the other side you can see the golden touch. In the next step, I'm going to apply black color. For this I'm going to use black chalk paint, which I have already used. Little bit of chalk paint and roller brush. You can use roller or sponge. And carefully, because it's a possibility to touch this area, so you have to be very careful. You can redo the color over here, or the other option is to use brush and paint the lines. It's better to use small brush like this. There are some touches of black in between, which I will cover it later. I will use the same color. Just remove this black color from here and use your finger and cover this black color like this. After completion of black paint, I tape the edges of the board just to avoid resin falling. I'm going to pour and cover the full tray with the resin. I have already poured some of the resin earlier, and the next I'm going to pour some more resin just to fill it up. Spread the resin evenly. This will cover the depths as well as the heights. If you feel that you need more resin, mix another batch. Now I'm going to add some crushed glass in some areas. I put some resin and then crushed glass and mix well. Here in these two places I have already placed the glass. I'm going to spread it and covered it with resin. This is optional. If you want to add this crushed glass, you go ahead, otherwise leave this step. You can add some areas where there is place on which you can easily add that. This is also a little bit wider area. We'll add some and join it. You can create any design. Either you can copy this one, or you can create lines, circles, or any shape. This is totally up to you. You can change the size as well. Size of the tray. You can also use this technique on any surface, plastic or steel or any other surface. But I prefer wood MDF base the most because the height of the base is, or the thickness of the MDF is very suitable to make the tray. If you use thin or plastic or steel trays, the result or the effect would not be the same. And you can cut MDF in any shape, but the plastic and the steel tray would be in circle or in rectangular or in square shape only. This is how my project done. After it will get dry, after 24 hours, I will keep the resin on rest. Make sure where you keep the resin, keep the tray overnight, the surface should be leveled. For this you can download surface leveler in your mobile to check either the surface is level or not. The floor is the best level part where you can place the tray. So you can lift the floor, and the counters are the level part. So you can lift the tray and place it where the floor is leveled or the counter. Why to put these projects on tables, because the table might be uneven. So this is my project is completely done. After that I will remove the, after 3 to 4 hours I will remove the tape, because the resin will not be fluid, a little bit sticky, so it won't fall from the edges. And we have to remove the tape after 2 to 3 hours, because if we want to remove the tape, we get the sharp edges and we need a sander or any other cutter to remove or sand the edges. So if you remove the tape, the resin will fall, but the resin will get very thick, or the consistency will become very thick, so it won't fall enough. At this point, if you remove the tape, the whole resin will get fall. So wait for the resin to get little bit harder or thicker, so you can get round edges of this tray. After it get dry, I will show you the result, inshallah, and I hope you will like my new project. This is the final look of the tray. You can see the edges are very smooth because I removed the tape, the masking tape, when the resin get little bit harder and sticky. And I think I will pour one more layer of resin when the first layer get dry. Check the result.